Demons are not just figments of imagination or relics of ancient superstitions. They are cunning, malevolent entities that exploit the deepest vulnerabilities of the human soul. Their primary weapon is isolation, a tool they wield with chilling effectiveness. When someone begins to experience demonic manifestations, it often happens in the dark corners of their life, away from the eyes of others. This isolation is not accidental, it is by design. The demon knows that by isolating its victim, it can erode their sense of reality and push them into a state of desperation. Imagine the torment of someone who, alone in their room, begins to hear whispers, see shadowy figures, or feel a malevolent presence pressing upon their chest at night.
It's like, every night the shadows get darker, and the whispers, they just won't stop.
They reach out to those they trust, family, friends, spiritual leaders, only to be met with skepticism.
It's just your imagination.
You're under stress, or worse, demons aren't real.
Come on, demons aren't real.
This dismissal is devastating. The person is not just battling the terror of the unknown, they are now battling the suffocating disbelief of those around them. The demon's influence grows as the victim's isolation deepens, creating a vicious cycle where the more the victim tries to reach out, the more they are pushed back into the shadows. This insidious strategy is especially potent when the person turns to those who should understand the inexplicable: priests, pastors, or other ordained figures. Priests, these are the individuals who are supposed to be the bastions of faith, the ones who can stand against the forces of darkness with the power of God. But what happens when even they are skeptical? When even they do not believe in the real, tangible power of demonic forces? The demon's grip tightens. The victim, now doubly isolated, begins to lose hope. If even the ordained do not believe, where else can they turn? In their desperation, some turn to mediums and spiritualists, individuals who claim to have a connection to the spiritual world, but often do so without the protection and guidance of divine faith. Spiritualist. This is precisely what the demon wants. By leading the victim to seek answers and comfort in the occult, the demon is not only deepening its influence, but also binding the victim more securely in its web. The more the victim engages with these practices, the further they drift from the light of God, and the closer they come to making a deadly agreement with the demonic force tormenting them. The more the victim engages with these practices, the further they drift from the light of God, and the closer they come to making a deadly agreement with the demonic force tormenting them. This agreement is not a formal contract, it is a surrender. The demon torments its victim relentlessly, wearing them down through fear, isolation, and despair. It whispers lies into their minds, stokes the fires of anger, inflames desires, or plunges them into the abyss of depressive thoughts.
The victim, isolated and desperate, begins to believe there is no escape. The demon tempts them with false solutions. Just give in, it whispers. It will all stop if you just let go.
The agreement is born in this moment of weakness, where the victim, tormented beyond their limits, begins to accept the demon's presence, or worse, welcomes it in some twisted hope for relief. The severity of this situation cannot be overstated. Demonic influence is not just a battle of the mind, it is a battle for the soul. When the ordained fail to stand firm in their faith, when skepticism replaces belief, the victim is left defenseless against a force that seeks nothing less than their total destruction. The stakes are high and the consequences are eternal. We must understand that this is not a game. Demons are real and their influence is insidious. They exploit isolation and skepticism to weave a net so tight that escape seems impossible. But there is hope. True deliverance comes from unwavering faith in God through Jesus Christ. It is only by calling on His name, standing firm in the truth of His word, and rejecting the lies and temptations of the demonic that one can break free from this bondage. The power of Christ is greater than any demonic force, but it requires belief, faith, and the courage to stand against the darkness, even when the world says it does not exist. This is the severity of demonic influence, a force that thrives in isolation and disbelief, that seeks to drive a wedge between the victim and the light of God. We must be vigilant, compassionate, and unwavering in our faith, for the battle is real and the souls at stake are precious beyond measure.